After two very comfortable days here at Road America, it is going to be much different as we roll into the weekend. Temperatures in the mid-90s. The heat index may be over 100. It is going to be tough on these racers as we have three more races lined up today. Hello, folks. My name is Rob Howden, joined by the man who will start on the outside of the front row today in USF2000, Evan Cooley from Exclusive Autosport. Evan, let's just talk about a great starting spot first, right? Right now, up front, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, we executed really well in qualifying, so the whole team's up there. We're just going to try and convert. We're going to work together, and hopefully get some good results in the two races today.
Well, you say work together. I love that. Did you guys have a little time in the debrief room? You've got your teammate Jack Jeffers beside you. You've got Lucas Facuri behind you as well. You guys had a fantastic qualifying run.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, turn one, let's just make it through. We'll settle in, and then we can work together from there.
It's obviously a track you've been here before. Is this your best chance to go for your first race win here?
Yeah, hoping I can get it done here. Pace has been really strong the whole weekend, so the draft is really important. It's a lot more of a chess match compared to other tracks here, so you got to play your cards right.
Did you watch that USF Pro 2000 race? The opening laps were crazy. We know the first run into 1 to 3 and to 5 is going to be hectic. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched into turn 5. It was pretty hectic. So
it's going to be hot, as we know, very likely mid-90s by the time you go racing here this morning. Have you worked for that? Are you ready for the heat?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we train for, just hydrating a lot, a lot of electrolytes.
All these drivers, guys, looking to get their first victory. You got to be ready physically for a race like this today. 12-lap. We're on a very tough racetrack. This is a race, obviously, for guys to try to get wins, starting the second half of the season. But the championship chase is on as well. I had a chance to talk to both of the primary title combatants. Jack Jeffers, of course, will start on pole position, and Thomas Schrag from VRD Racing. As we pass the halfway point of the USF2000 season, starting in the run to Portland here at Road America this weekend, we're starting to talk about the championships. In USF2000, really two drivers in the primary fight right now, Thomas Schrag from VRD Racing and Jack Jeffers from Exclusive Autosport. Thomas Schrag comes off his first win in USF2000, victory on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Thomas, a good run at IRP on the oval as well. You're the point leader coming into the second half of the season. What do you think about that spot and your thoughts about going for a championship?
I think we can't focus on it too much. I've been in this position in lower levels where I've been in a championship battle. I've won a championship at every level that I've been in so far, so this would be another to complete it.
One thing that surprised me, I want to go to this first. You've raced all these different racetracks. Is it true that you've never actually raced here at Road America?
I've never raced here. I have 2 tests here, that's it. And I feel like we have the fastest car this weekend.
I don't like it for you. I like it for us and the fans. It's always good to have somebody maybe deeper in the field who's a quality driver like you. How are you going to come to the front of the field? We're going to keep an eye on you because we know what you're like when you're coming through the field.
I mean, it might not be about winning both races this weekend. I'd like to if I can. But we're heading to Mid-Ohio, my home track, and it seems like every partial season I've always ended up doing the last couple races of the year, so I have a lot of experience the last 3. And I know this might be a weak spot for me, so I just have to kind of mitigate what can be a bad day for us.
That's a really good point. Mid-Ohio, your home track, you know that track as well. You're trying to go for a championship. You've run those second half of the season races. Are you feel like you're in a good spot? I know this weekend you want to get out of, but do you feel like you're in a good spot to challenge to the end?
Yeah, I think we are. I joined the team, VRD Racing, last year at Mid-Ohio, and I ran the last 3 events with them, so I have video, data, notes, everything that I can think of to prepare and how we had set the car up so we can put ourselves in the best position to win those races.
This is going to be a great championship fight in USF2000. You got a driver right here in Thomas Schrag, who, like you said, has won all the way up through the ranks. Team USA driver. He knows how to win races. He knows how to win championships. And this second half of the season, he's pretty primed to battle it out all the way to the championship. The second driver in the battle for the championship in USF2000 is Jack Jeffers from Exclusive Autosport. And like Thomas Schrag, able to get that first career USF2000 victory in Indianapolis. Second half of the season now. We go here, Road America, Mid-Ohio, Toronto, Portland. What do you think about the championship chase?
It's good. I like that it's close. I like that there's a battle for it. And I'm ready. I'm looking forward. I've never driven on Toronto, but I'm looking forward to that race especially. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I'm glad that it's close. I'm glad that there's somebody to fight with.
What's the mindset coming in? I know you guys want to win races, right? Thomas Schrag told me he's just going to try to win as many races as he can. Is that your mindset as well, or do you have a different look at it?
It's a similar mindset, you know. You got to win races. You got to focus one race at a time. If you start letting the championship creep in, that's where mistakes are going to happen, and it almost changes your whole personality. And so I know I have a winning mentality, so I got to keep that and just focus on race wins. And that's ultimately how you lock up a championship, is winning the races and getting the results. So yeah, I've got to keep a good mindset, just stay focused on winning each race and take it one race at a time.
You've always had a lot of great success in terms of consistency throughout the start of the season. All those top threes at the start of the season, but you get that first race win at Indianapolis. How big was that to change your mindset for the rest of the year, to get that first win?
It definitely was relieving, you know, to get that win. It's a form of validation to show that all the work has paid off. But it does add a little bit more stress and pressure as far as, okay, I've won now. Now the expectation coming into the season was to win. And now that I, you know, have won, especially at Indy, now the expectation is to win every single race.
You've won championships before. Do you go back into your history in karting and the Lucas Oil School and think, hey, I've won a championship before. I remember how I got it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think back to how those championships were won and the pros to take away from that, but every championship's different, so you can't approach it the same way. But yeah, I've thought back to the Lucas Oil Championship and what I did, and honestly, the key to it was just keeping a calm head and keeping the confidence in myself, and so that's what I'm going to do this weekend. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we talk about that word a lot, don't we, in this program, confidence, and throw momentum in there as well. Jack Jeffers has the confidence, so does Thomas Schrag. Both these drivers looking to win races, get all the way through to the end at Portland, come away with a championship that could put them in the same trail as so many drivers like a Kyle Kirkwood and a Christian Rasmussen, all the way to the NTT IndyCar Series.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
One race already in the books here at Road America. What will be 5 events for the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. We're about 5 minutes away from the command to fire up for USF2000 and the Elite Engines Grand Prix of Road America, their first of 2 races here on the weekend. Beautiful day right now, 86 degrees trackside, enough of a breeze that's keeping things cool enough, although temperatures expected to get above 90 degrees. The heat index is going to make it even tougher. So for these young drivers, all that work they do in the gym going to pay off here even more probably this afternoon as the temperature rises above 90. 22 drivers set to go. Let's jump into that driver introductions right now. As I said, just about 4 minutes away from the command to fire up the engines as these drivers get set to roll out for a 12-lap race. Starting at the tail of the field, to 22 strong in the field. Row number 11 on the outside from California will be the number 99 of Ryan Janetta, the driver for VRD Racing out of Redondo Beach, California. The rookie starting in the 22nd spot alongside him. In the number 95 from Chandler, Arizona for Exclusive Autosport, that's the rookie Kaylee Countryman. She's a full-time runner in the USF Juniors category, making her debut here in USF 2000, moving up for this event. Moving to row now, number 10, another driver who is our full-timer in USF Juniors, Thomas Nordqvist, in the number 17 for D-Force Racing. That number 17 driver out of Omaha, Nebraska, first year of the USF Pro Championships, and like Countryman, and like a number of drivers here this weekend, jumping up from Juniors to 2000, just to test the waters for the coming seasons. Nordqvist will start alongside South African Vian Boshoff in the number 67 for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development. A tough off earlier in the weekend for Boshoff, wrecking a car over in turn number 9 when the left rear suspension failed. The Sarah Fisher Hartman crew able to pull out another car. Boshoff rolled right back onto the racetrack and qualified in the 19th position. Row number 9, starting 17th and 18th. On the outside, Patricio Gonzalez for D-Force Racing, one of our top 10 drivers in USF Juniors. He'll start 18th. Alongside Sebastian Garzon and up at Bogota, Colombia, in the number 12, last year's Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series champion. Row number 8 will have Rodrigo Gonzalez, Patricio's brother, in the number 18, a podium finisher in USF Juniors this year. He'll start 16th alongside the Australian driver Eddie Beswick for Synergy Motorsports, his first year from the Formula 4 champion from Australia. Beswick in the number 30. Row number 7 on the outside from Texas, Joshua Leonel, a podium earlier this year at St. Petersburg. The D-Force driver, the number 11 starting 14th, alongside Timmy Corral in the number 8. The J. Howard Driver Development Californian starting in the 13th spot. Moving now to row number 6 on the outside, Christian Cameron in the number 19. The VRD Racing driver, his first year in USF 2000 after running juniors last year. He'll start 12th alongside J. Howard Driver Development pilot Harley Keeble, a top international kart racer. Made his debut in USF juniors at Mid-Ohio 2 weeks ago. Here he is in USF 2000 getting ready to roll. 11th in the number 7. Into the top 10 right now. Great start for Brendan Cooley, another one of our full-time USF Juniors drivers. He's become a top 10 runner in that category, but 10th here in qualifying. Excellent run for the exclusive Autosport driver out of Illinois. It'll be a P10 start for him, and he will launch alongside G3 Argyros, the Californian who ran both USF Juniors and a number of USF 2000 races last year. Argyros for Pabst Racing in the number 23. Row number 4 on the outside from Indiana, Ayrton Hauk, the single driver effort, the family team Benchmark Autosport. Hauk had a great qualifying run there, big final lap to move himself up into 8th. Outside of row 4, he'll start alongside the Freedom 75 winner from the Oval at Indianapolis Raceway Park, Canadian Anthony Martella for J. Howard Driver Development starting in the 7th position. We'll go now to row number 3 on the outside from North Carolina. It's Caleb Gaffera, the number 24. He raced at the kart track last weekend in the Route 66 Sprint Series. He'll be here next weekend at the Briggs & Stratton Motorplex in the United States Pro Kart Series event. Gaffera going 3 races in a row this weekend, though, focusing on the USF 2000 car. He'll start alongside your point leader right now, Thomas Schrag for VRD Racing in the number 2. Row number 2 will have the Brazilian Lucas Facuri, his best start of the season in the number 91 exclusive Autosport machine. Alongside him, Teddy Masella for VRD Racing in the number 25. 22 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Off pole, Evan Cooley. It's all exclusive Autosport up front. Evan Cooley, who joined me in the pre-race, starting on the off-pole position. P2 for the number 90 driver out of Illinois, but the driver who will lead them to the green here today. Pole position for Jack Jeffers, the Texan for exclusive Autosport. Second place in points in the number 92. He is ready to roll from P1. So again, Jefferson, Cooley, row 1, Masella and Facuri, row 2, Schrag and Gaffera, row 3, Martella and Hauk, row 4, Argyros and Cooley on row number 5. Talk all about this event being the Elite Engines Grand Prix of Road America. Every engine that we have in these cars is built here in West Bend, Wisconsin, by the Knapp family. And joining us down on Victory Lane, the Podium, to give us the call to fire up these engines. He's built all these engines, folks. The technical director from Elite Engines. The call coming from Logan Knapp.
On behalf of everyone from Elite Engines, drivers, start your engines.
I'll tell you one thing, all those engines have been started before on the dyno. Eric Miller, again, joining me here, the voice of Road America. All these engines come out of West Bend. He's been on the dyno with every one of these engines to make sure they're all within that operating window. Every engine, every motor in the car of all 3 levels comes out of Elite Engines.
Absolutely, and Logan didn't have to go far from his front door. It's only about 15 minutes away. He lives here in Sheboygan County as well, so... But all of these engines come out of the shops in West Bend, so this is a homecoming for all of these race cars. But certainly, you look at Pabst Racing out of Oconomowoc. This is top of the bulletin board every season. You know that Augie just kind of circles these dates on the calendar, and goes, whatever we do, we win here.
Well, listen, and this is interesting. Obviously, he got a victory already with Max Garcia earlier today in USF Pro 2000. Augie was literally holding back the tears, as he always does, to be able to win here at home. Of course, the family, as we know, 3 generations that they've been around this track, helped build this track. This is Road America is the Pabst family, so indeed they'll hope for the best results they can here this weekend. Of course, they got a driver starting in 6th and in 9th, and Caleb Gaffera and G3 Argyros. The guys up front, Exclusive Autosport, has put a good race car underneath their drivers. Again, talking about the fact that they are starting 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 10th, and the rookie Kaylee Country down there in 21st. So looking for more experience here as well. But again, big field, 22 drivers. I'll say this right now, folks, a very crazy wreck that we had in practice yesterday. JT Hoskins dropping a wheel, coming out through the kink. got into both sides of the wall. Major impact. It was a horrific wreck. Talking to his father, John Hoskins, today, hoping that he'll be released today, and if he's released in time, they're coming back to the racetrack for race 2 USF2000 this afternoon. They're not going to run, obviously, but it'll be great to have JT Hoskins trackside. Hopefully he's watching the broadcast right now. JT, we're so thankful to get all the positive updates that we have throughout this last 24 hours. A rough wreck for you, as we know. I'm sure you'll be right back in that car whenever you possibly can. The USF Juniors program continuing again at Mid-Ohio in a couple of weeks. Hopefully JT will be cleared to race there. A very talented young driver. Thrilled to have him with us. But again, so excited that the Tatis chassis did its job. It was I'm sure you'll end up seeing the wreck online, folks. It was a tough one. But again, that's what these cars are all about. The safety of these cars, the strength of these cars. That's what we're hoping for any driver that gets involved in an incident. That halo that was added in 2022 obviously did its job. So high level of safety is the focus that we have in this program. We're very lucky to have the AMR IndyCar safety team with us as well here at all of our events with IndyCar, and we bring a number of those men and women from the AMR IndyCar safety team with us to standalone events as well. We understand how crucial they are to what we do, the product that we bring to our drivers and our families, the level of safety. Eric had a fantastic opportunity last night to have them an appreciation dinner at our hospitality last night for them.
Absolutely, and part of the reason for that is the drivers are comfortable with those representatives from the AMR safety team. The AMR safety team is comfortable with the drivers. They know certain needs and things like that, and have a history with a lot of the drivers within the series. So it all is part of the program to make sure that these young drivers are safe in competition, and certainly out on the racetrack if something happens.
They know our race cars too, and like I said, they know the drivers. So think about that. The guys that have been doing it for a long time, 6, 7, 8 years, they met these kids on the way up through this program, and now they're making sure they take care of them when they get to IndyCar as well. Field coming down into the kettle bottoms. Time to go racing. They'll work their way through Canada Corner, start the climb back up to the top straightaway. It is a long run up, of course, out of turn 12, up through 13. That final run through 14, and we'll line them up 2 by 2, and they will look for the green flag from Aaron Likens at start finish. All exclusive Autosport up front. Jack Jeffers and Evan Cooley on the front row. Teddy Masella and Lucas Facuri on row number 2. Thomas Schrag and Caleb Gaffera on row 3. Anthony Martella and Ayrton Hauk row 4. G3 Ardros and Brendan Cooley on row number 5. Field looking good. Lining up nicely. First 5, 6, 7 rows, 8 rows. Everybody's going to be dialing in here nicely. They'll slow when they come out of 14. It's the climb up the hill. Time to get things underway. A doubleheader for USF2000 here at the iconic Road America. Who will come away with the victory, as this is the start of the halfway point of the season? Lined up nicely, and there it is. Green, green, green. And a big jump from the outside for Lucas Facuri as he wants to get a run from from P number 4. Here comes the run. You know they're going to go 2, 3, make it 4 wide down the bottom. Jack Jeffers trying to hold the spot, and he'll clean and green it through. Everybody looking good on the entry into the corner. What is the exit look like? Everybody staying on the right side of the racetrack. No track limits for the drivers here. They can go far wide as they can. But as we know, there's a big bump at the end of the rumble strips on the outside of 1. You need to stay away from that. It'll upset the apple cart pretty quickly. And here's the first run down the straightaway. Jeffers is your leader. Got a bit of a gap. He'll love that. Coming down into turn number 5. Will likely not have to defend from a big draft. A little further back, 2 wide. Cooley, I think, potentially alongside Facuri. That's actually one of the Paps cars. Caleb Gaffera, I believe, jumping up into 4th position, or 3rd or 4th position. Looked to me like one of the VRD drivers. That might have been Masella able to get up into 2nd. So a good start there. A little contact coming up out of the hill there. That blind corner is a tough one for sure. They'll work their way down through turn 7 for the first time. Just finally thinking about going single file, but you know there's going to be some moves at the bottom. Watch for some brake lockups coming into turn number 8. Yeah, there's 2, 3 wide, thinking about it. The opening lap is obviously the best opportunity to pass. You're on top of a driver. If he has a bit of trouble, checks up at a corner, you're going to have a better run. This is the opportunity to do it. A couple times there, got a couple drivers 2 wide coming through the carousel, 1 outside the groove. There's a driver dropping a wheel as well. So a bunch of action here on the opening circuit. Jeffers out to the early lead. We'll give you a top 10 rundown when they come up through and get by start finish to have a look at how this 12-lapper is going to play out. But the opening lap's good so far. Drivers' meeting was very focused on these competitors respecting each other, give each other some room. One driver slow to the back at the field Looks like it might be the number 11 machine that was slow at the back, so that could be Joshua Lionel. We saw him potentially having trouble on the warm-up lap, I think, as well, coming down into turn number 5. Let's have a look at it, folks. We'll give you the top 10. For the first time, they'll come out of turn 14. We are racing. One down, call it 11 laps remaining here, and we are underway. Jeffers with the lead. As I said, Teddy Masella, a great start. He'll go to second. Cooley into third. Caleb Gaffaro fourth. Facuri fifth. Schrag sixth. Hauk in seventh. Eighth is Martella. Ninth, Keeble. 10th is Christian Cameron. There you have it. Eric Miller, the opening lap is in the books. Driver's doing a great job. Jeffers will lead him into turn number 3.
Well, we talked about in the Pro 2000 just before the start how important it was to, once the visor comes down, to eliminate all the distractions, but worry about the 4 corners of the race car. And everybody's doing that here very early. So that makes sense of why Lionelli had an issue flat left front as they come onto pit lane. So the Continental Tire down on that race car. And that was, we saw early in the initial pace lap. So some of the D-Force cars got a little checked up as well. So maybe he had some contact on the pace lap potentially.
Yeah, flat tire, as we said, for Joshua Lionel. He's into pit lane right now, the Texan. Getting that new tire on. He's back underway. He's going to have to hope for a yellow flag coming into this weekend here. Lionel 12th place in points. As I said, a couple of top finishes at St. Petersburg, 3rd and 9th. Best since then is a 13th or a 10th, but then a 13th most recently in the second race at Indianapolis. Oh, there's a driver who's gone way off. That's one of the D-Force cars, losing it coming through the carousel. Does he keep it out of the wall? We'll see. A lot of race car. And yeah, being told he's okay. Thumbs up. He's able to get out and through one of the D-Force cars. Way wide coming through the carousel. And I'll tell you, Eric, that's a wake-up call right there, because you're just relying on that car to stick on the inside. If you lose it, my goodness, hold on.
Well, we talked about during the Pro qualifying session that Costello had gotten into the gravel over there, and car kicked out and almost hit the wall as well. So, and damaged the attenuator and the rear wing. So it's real easy once you get off in the grass. You're just a passenger at that point. It's a nice job of hanging on, not making contact with the wall over there.
Yeah, fantastic job for whichever driver that was. I'll find out who's falling down the order here very quickly, and we'll be able to see who it is. We do have a look at it as well. We have a replay of the driver who has gone off the racetrack. That might have been Sebastian Garzón. I think the Colombian driver, Garzón, the rookie. We'll have a look at checked at the right side of the screen. Oh yeah, he just loses the rear end of it, and he's trying to catch it, but wisely points it forward a little bit, gets it lined up correctly coming through the gravel trap. That was for a rookie driver, Eric, that was a heads-up move by Garzón to control the car, control the direction rolling into the gravel, so you weren't losing it, potentially getting sideways in the gravel.
A little bit of dirt track experience there with the stab and steer, but putting a little bit of throttle input into it, kind of steering it with the rear tires in the gravel there. Nice job.
Look at all that racing further back there. That's a bunch of drivers, 5 of them fighting it out. A big scrap there, 2 wide coming down into turn number 5. Everybody lining up nicely, but this is good stuff here, deeper in the field. Head down, as we said, everybody fighting. Got to go single file through turn number 7. They'd line themselves back up again. Jeffers with the lead, but Teddy Masella is right there as well. Masella has been super consistent on the season. 4th place in points right now. Only 1 finish outside the top 10, and that was the first race of the year in St. Petersburg. Otherwise, back that St. Pete up with an 8th. Nolan Motorsports Park, 5th, 8th, and 6th. 4th and 2nd at Indianapolis, and 6th on the oval. So Masella, who is the F4 champion from last year, very strong here to start the season. And again, one of those drivers into the second half of the season, I say it time and time again, you're not really a rookie now. You started the season as a rookie, but you've run the street course at St. Petersburg. You've run the road courses at Indianapolis and NOLA Motorsports Park. You've already been on the oval as well, so you've done all 3 disciplines that we ask of you to train for IndyCar, and now we're into the second half of the season. We expect these drivers to be in the scrap. Lead pack is big. It's Jeffers, Masella, and Gaffaro. Then you go probably 8/10 back to the next driver there, which is Evan Cooley running in 4th. I believe it's Thomas Schrag now up into 5th. He's been able to get around Lucas Facuri, we believe. So yeah, Facuri is 4th. It's Cooley down to 6th. So Facuri 4th, Schrag 5th, Cooley 6th, Hauk 7th, Christian Cameron, Harley Keeble, and Anthony Martella round out the top 10. 3-driver battle up front. Could be forward a bit if Facuri is able to get there. But you can see now, new leader, in fact. Yeah, Masella's gone to the lead. Jeffers goes back to P2, so Teddy Masella, the first time he has led all season long, the VRD driver goes up front. Teddy Masella out of Orlando, Florida, to the lead here in USF2000. 4 down, 8 to go.
One of the things we're kind of paying attention to, of course, is that points battle is the nose to gearbox real tight into turn 5, but that championship battle between Schrag and Jeffers too, that kind of narrows the gap a little bit. Schrag hasn't made a lot of challenges here so far in the early going, but maybe trying to just save a little bit of those Continental tires.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on. That's obviously the story within the story, right? Driver like Masella trying to get that first win. Big lead group right now. But Schrag and Jeffers currently 6 points apart. Obviously a point for qualifying on the pole for Jack Jeffers, so it's 190 to 184. Liam McNeely is third place in points, won the first 5 races in a row, but then visa issues did not allow him to get back into Canada, back into the U.S. rather, for the races at Indianapolis, and so he's not here at Road America either. So tough one for Liam McNeely. That moves Masella really effectively into third place in points, but he is 55 back from Thomas Schrag coming into the weekend. He's got to win some races. Of course, G3 Argyros right there, effectively in 4th. Gafera effectively 5th, 6th for Cooley. So indeed, lots going on here in terms of that second half championship, but really lining up now for a Schrag versus Jeffers battle all the way through to Portland, unless some drivers get some wins and get themselves back into the discussion.
But we always talk about how Road America is that launching point to the second half of the season. And you mentioned, at the start of the year, you're maybe all rookies. There's 19 Rs in this field of 22.
I know.
There's at some point, you've all got the same experience now. And in that situation, a little bit of a tussle back and forth on the crossover, trying to go the long way around on the entrance to turn 1.
Wow. Oh, they got contact! Contact! Drivers together! Jeffers into the wall on the outside of turn number 1 through 2. Jeffers gets crowded to the outside, clouts the left side of the car. Hard impact for Jack Jeffers coming out of turn number 1. They were side by side coming out of the corner. Full course caution as contact for Jack Jeffers. That is a hard impact crash down into turn number 1. AMR IndyCar safety team will be there momentarily. They were side by side coming through the corner. He's out of the car, guys. Being told he's already out of the car. So those of you on pit lane or around the racetrack, Jack Jeffers is fine, out of the race car, but he will be distraught with that. They were side by side, he and Masella, onto the rumbles on the outside of the corner. And as they came through, I talked about that bump at the end of the straightaway. We'll of course hope for some kind of a replay on that. But the bottom line is contact was made, or at least ran out of racing room. Left front contact with the barrier, or rather the wall on the outside. But man, thrilled to hear Jack Jeffers climbing out of the race car in his own power, because that was a hard hit. He was up in the air. Listen, that running out of racing room out there, Eric, that is tough.
Well, we know that was one of the focuses in the driver's meeting as well, that there is a bump on the exit of turn 1 if you get into those gator strips. But it looked like going the long way around, he was committed to the outside, probably went at least two wheels outside of the white line, and then you get to that gator strip. But, you need some room. If you're out there, if you're still nose to nose, that's somewhere where you're going to need some race room. Let's take a look if we've got to replay this if we can.
We're going to have a look at this here as they're going to be side by side through turn number 1, and then of course they were side by side coming out of the corner as well. Have a look here as they come back over. Look to the right side of the screen there. Jeffers, he hits that bump and loses it and makes hard contact. The left front into the tire there, and that was strictly going over top of the bump on the outside as he launched over. The attitude of the car was almost starting to go counterclockwise rotation. When it came back down, it immediately shot the car to the right, or the left rather, and that's when he made left front contact. That was tough. Hard impact on the left. Of course, Jeffers at that point starting the rotation. And listen, very lucky that the rest of the field, which came through afterwards, did not collect him. He was able to scoot across the racetrack into the grass on driver's right, and then thankfully getting out of the car quite quickly. Actually, not what we want a driver to do, get out of the car that fast. Normally, you're hopefully going to wait, but the bottom line is, for us, everybody around the racetrack, after a couple of hard incidents already this year, Jeffers able to get out of that race car. That was P2 of the points. and that is going to open things up. What a wild incident there for Jeffers. Again, wow, looking to try to bring home a finish. Tough in terms of the championship battle. That re-racks things to move Caleb Gaffera up into second. Basello the leader, Gaffera in second, Thomas Schrag in third, Evan Cooley fourth, Lucas Facuri fifth, Ayrton Hauk in sixth spot, Harley Keeble in seventh, Christian Cameron eighth, G3 Argyrosa ninth, and Anthony Martella 10th. And there's the AMR IndyCar safety team on the scene now, checking out the damage to the track itself. They'll, of course, be at the car with Jack. You never know what kind of fluids have come out at that point. Brake line fluids, if anything, because obviously it looks like the rear of the car was okay. Now, the key is this. We're talking about a championship battle. Now, they're racing later on this afternoon. They're back on the racetrack at 5:20. We're talking about 6 hours from now, whether they pull a spare car out or I don't know that they'd be able to repair this car unless the impact was enough that it actually sheared off the parts. I don't know whether there was any tub damage on the car in terms of the severity of the impact, but they may be pulling a backup car, and that may put Jeffers, if he's able to continue, at the tail of the field. This championship just blew wide open as he was running P2.
And in this situation now, if you're Thomas Schrag, you're up to the third step on the podium right now as they're running. Now you've got to be really careful and diligent about taking care of your race car.
Yeah, it's an opening, right? The driver you were battling with who was in front of you on the racetrack, knowing that you're going to be starting, because he's going to be starting back in 15th in race number 2 this afternoon, Thomas Schrag is. He can say, listen, Jeffers had an issue. I'm just going to settle in here. I'm okay with a P3 finish. I'm going to see what comes to me right now because I have a 6-point lead. I can pad that a little bit. So that is indeed the situation for Thomas Schrag. And again, a guy like, we talked about a guy like Masella who's leading. Okay, just getting a quick look at that race car as they pull it away. Rear wing is gone as well. Man. So, again, we've had a couple of rough ones here. We know the first incident happening earlier in the week to Vian Boshoff, which is online, a heck of a wreck there. We saw the crash, of course, in morning practice yesterday for JT Hoskins after he dropped a wheel over on the grasscrete. It was just a little bit wet still from the overnight rains, spun that car around and made hard contact on both right and left sides of the concrete there. And then a hard one there for Jack Jeffers. Man, I hate to see that.
We never really want to test the safety of these Tatis chassis, but I tell you what we've seen this weekend from Thursday all the way up to through today, very thankful for the amount of engineering support that goes into these Tatis chassis. Yeah,
shout out to everybody over in Italy that designs and builds these race cars for us, these Tatis cars that are, of course, the base of our program from top to bottom, juniors all the way through to USF Pro 2000. As we know, it's the same tub, that same driver cockpit with the halo for all the cars, exactly the same. Everything else bolted on the outside is a bit different to complete the formula, but that Tatis chassis, that Tatis tub is what is protecting our drivers. And again, like you said, I was hoping that with the Boshoff wreck that we'd proven it already. That was good enough. Then, of course, the Hoskins wreck, goodness, the addition of the halo back in 2022 is just reaped benefits for these drivers. And, of course, this wreck here for Jack Jeffers as well. So, again, the exclusive Autoport team's going to go to work. Jeffers is going to finish in the 22nd position. That's going to blow things wide open in the championship as well. No doubt about that. I'm sure a spare car is going to be coming out. If they can't repair it, they'll go to work. They've got lots of time. And I'll tell you, there's lots of mechanics over there. They're running 8 cars here this weekend, so all hands can be on deck to get that car back to tip-top shape. Exclusive Autosport still not done here, looking for a race winner, some podiums with Evan Cooley running 4th and Lucas Facuri in 5th. But it will be Teddy Masella who will lead them back to the start when we do go back to green flag racing. 5 laps down. In fact, it'll be 6 when they come back around. We got a couple of good laps in, but darn it, we had a wreck early there down on the exit of turn number 1.
The 24 being put behind Schrag. So that is Gufar being put behind Schrag because of blocking. So a little bit of a realignment at the front of the field here for Masella. So he'll have Schrag behind him. So that moves Schrag up one more spot.
It's also teammates. Those are VRD teammates now, 1 and 2. So a blocking penalty for Caleb Gaffera. He moves behind Thomas Schrag. So it'll put Masella, Schrag, Gaffera 1, 2, 3. Cooley, Facuri, and Hauk in the 6th spot. Keeble 7th, Cameron 8th, G3 Argyros 9th, and Anthony Martella rounding out the top 10. Timmy Carell started 13th. He runs in 11th spot. Eddie Beswick, who started in 15th, now runs in 12th. The Gonzalez brothers, Rodrigo and Patricio, now in 13th and 14th. And Ryan Janetta, who started back 22nd position. Ryan Janetta up 7 as he runs up into the 15th spot. We will go green this next time by. It'll be 7 laps in the books. We'll have 5 laps of racing if we go green to checker from the end of this one here. AMR IndyCar safety team, fantastic job on the cleanup there and what is essentially the entry into turn number 2, that little kink coming down from the straightaway. But again, just that instant coming out of the corner, they were side by side, and Jeffers launched over the end of that curve.
What's a little interesting is just taking a look at where the kitty litter is applied. It kind of makes a little bit of a V. So where the tub and the, look like potentially the sub-assembly of one of the brake lines came off, that's what looks like it may have gone 2 separate directions there.
Indeed, folks, ready to get back at it here. We were hoping for green to checker like we saw in USF Pro 2000. Not the case here with that incident for Jack Jeffers. Looking forward to seeing if he's able to get back on the racetrack for event number 2. And I would expect that exclusive Autosport will have a machine ready for him to go when we're back at it just after 5 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to go back-to-back this afternoon with USF Pro 2000 and USF 2000. It'll be the back end of the doubleheader for the USF 2000 drivers. It will be the second of 3 races for USF Pro 2000. The command of fire engines there right around 4:20 this afternoon. Of course, we will have autograph sessions here today as well. Join us behind the Victory Lane podium at the fan walk. 12:45 for USF Pro 2000, 1:25 for the drivers in USF 2000 for their autograph session. Get a chance to meet the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. Field working its way, of course, down through the carousel right now. Big shout out to all of our partners as part of the USF Pro Championships. Continental Tire, of course, being our presenting sponsor. Continental Tire is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the USF Pro Championships. Our cutting-edge technology and unbeatable grip will help you dominate the track. Continental Tire, where performance meets precision. Learn more at continentaltire.com. Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. So indeed, everybody lining things up through the kettle bottoms to do it one more time. Some drivers have made moves forward, able to advance over those opening laps. Restarts are exactly the same. I hate to say that you're a sitting duck when you're up front there, but you are when you are the leader coming up to the green flag. It's such a long run from the green all the way down to 1. I would guarantee that Teddy Musella is going to go down to driver's right to the wall to try to defend. Watch for Schrag to go around the outside. Amazing for Schrag, and we talked to him earlier on here in the pre-race show, that interview with he and Jack Jeffers. Of all the tracks he's been on, all the championships he's won, he has never raced here at Road America. This is his first weekend driving competition, wheel-to-wheel racing at this particular facility. He's currently running in second spot. His teammate in front of him, Teddy Musella. Get ready to go, folks, out of turn number 14. They're set to punch off from 14. Yeah, we're underway. I would expect the green flag flying in. It is. Aaron Likens has got it rolling. One driver dropping a wheel further back. Here they come. They'll snake their way up. And then driver is spun coming off. One of the drivers in the back going to try to get a rerun, and I think that might be Thomas Nordqvist who went around a little bit there. Either Garzone or Lionel, one of the D-Force drivers looping, able to get it straightened up. Here's the run down into turn number 1. Who's got it? To the inside still, Gafera able to go to second. Was that Schrag potentially able to go by with him? Thomas Schrag may be the leader. And indeed, it was Thomas Nordqvist. Here's the run down through turn number 3, side by side, a bit further back as well. Drivers all trying to stay clean through this lap as they get themselves back on to the straightaway down to turn number 5. A little kink turn 4 midway through that long straightaway down to the hard-braking turn 5. They'll turn left to climb back up the hill. Here's an opportunity. A couple of drivers too wide further back.
Looks like Cooley trying to put some pressure on here.
That's the 2 exclusive Autosport cars side by side, Evan Cooley and Lucas Fakuri. Another driver further off of the outside of that corner as well. So some aggressive racing early. Turn 6, Eric, side by side. It's a blind turn in. That's tough.
Well, not only that, but it's a really sharp 90-degree apex, so you've got to be really on point. And being on the outside, there are a lot of marbles with these Continental tires with the early going, plus the yellow.
There's Ayrton Hauk making a move to the inside of one of the exclusive drivers, so move Hauk potentially up into the 5th spot. Ayrton Hauk for Benchmark Autosport, pushing hard here. Single car effort. They launched that team this year, essentially the evolution of DC Autosport, owned now by Kevin Hauk, his son Ayrton Racing, and then Don Connor, the DC and DC Autosport remaining on as their engineer. But it's a team run by Kevin Hauk now, benchmark Autoport driver, dropping a wheel a little further back there in Kettle Bottoms. He'll lose a spot. You saw the dust throwing up there. So a lot of action right now. Ayrton Hauk on the move. And look at this. 2 wide through Canada corner, 2 deep. 2 by 2. Why not? Coming back up the hill out of turn number 13. Again, as I said, the restart, a great opportunity to really attack and get there and get a driver on the outside stuck and potentially making that move to the inside. We are dropping wheels left and right coming out of turn number 14 as well. But let's have a look at the run as they come along here. Who was it that actually took the lead? Coming across the line, is it indeed Thomas Schrag? He is up front. He'll go to the bottom now. Schrag is the leader. Watch this run down. It's Gaffera, Masella, Fakuri, and Hauk. Caleb Gaffera gets a run to the inside or outside. Book it. Caleb Gaffera to P1 for Pabst Racing. He ran here last weekend at the Briggs & Stratton Motorplex in the Route 66 Sprint Series. He's running next weekend as well at the United States Pro Kart Series event at the kart track. 3 straight weekends of competition. And right now he's leading the way here in USF2000. Still a ways to go. 4 laps remaining in this one. So a little over 8 miles of racing before it's all said and done. Gaffera looking for that first victory. He and Schrag trying to pull away. It's one of the exclusive cars now up into 3rd. I think that might be Lucas Fakuri up to 3rd spot. And Eric, the battle, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Elbows up right now further back.
Well, the good thing is it's elbows up, but everybody being mindful of their race cars right now. And we've seen a few push out wide, but everybody being fairly consistent with holding their line. This has been some really good racing here. Really tight line in the 8. That doesn't look good usually on exit there as they push wide.
Waiting to see if they come out the other side. I think they do. That was, I believe.
That was tight.
Yeah, that might have been Harley Keeble looking to the inside of Ayrton Hauk there down into turn number 8. When you throw your nose down like that, sure, you can pinch it and get over the curbing of the inside of turn number 8, but oftentimes you're going to hook the right front and the left rear.
Well, it's really hard to do that, especially with those 90-degree corners at 6, at 8, simply because when you throw your nose in there late, that lead car is already making the apex turn in, and it narrows really quickly.
And as we know, it's dirty on the inside. There's no rubber on the inside. That's not the racing line, so oftentimes you're going to push wide at the corner like that there. Big move down to the bottom, further back as well. We've got some big racing outside the top 10 as well. Man, this is good stuff further back. Glad they've gotten to a rhythm right now after the incident for Jeffers, but indeed, up comes Caleb Gaffera. His turn to lead. Will he? Oh, there's contact. Got drivers further back. Coming through turn number 14. 2 drivers into the gravel trap with 3 laps to go. They're going to race this thing until the yellow folks, so this thing could effectively end here. They're going to have to race hard. You do not want to give up a spot right now. Very likely we will see the full course yellow coming out. There it is. Lock down the positions. Wow. Caleb Gaffera leads, but a couple drivers together further back trying to figure out who that was. Drivers not coming back around right now. Brendan Cooley and Sebastian Garzon. So hopefully we'll be able to get a shot from the outside of turn number 14. A couple drivers getting together. Somebody sent it to the inside. And I believe that's who it's going to be. Martella's to the tail of the field as well. Here's a replay of what we saw down in turn 14. Someone likely made a move to the inside, sent it up the bottom. So watch this here further back. They'll come through the corner. Yeah, look further back there. They're side by side. Oh, no,
the D-Force car never broke.
Okay, so that's not the inside. Indeed, that's
on
the
the outside.
That is, yeah, it wasn't the inside. It was literally the machine of Garzon missing the braking zone.
Yep.
Yeah, drove. You can see it there. Drove right into the back of Brendan Cooley. That is disappointing for both those drivers. Cooley was right there, and
it looks like Martella had pulled onto pit lane.
I was still focused on that. If we can have another look at that, guys, I would love to see another look at that shot now, knowing that it's actually not a driver sending it up the inside. It was actually the issue of missing the braking zone and driving over the essential left rear of the car. Garzon was pushing hard, an issue early, as we know. Watch this to the right side. He's just going to go too hard. Car starts to rotate on the brakes. He can't whoa it up. He climbs over the back of Cooley. Cooley's going to lose that rear wing, but Brendan just along for the ride at that point there. So we're yellow, and again, remember, 9 laps in. When they come back around, it'll be 10. Unless the AMR IndyCar safety team can get this thing cleared up very quickly, we're going to be close to going. Well, they've got Garzon already out of the gravel trap and he's likely going to be able to continue. There's probably no damage to that 12 unless he's got some right front or some right front damage.
I imagine the wings.
He's lost the wing as well. Yeah, he may be able to drive it back, but maybe not. Cooley, his car's off in the gravel. So indeed, when they come back around, it'll be lap number 10. This is going to be super tough. So confirmed that Garzone driving away from the scene, so I would expect that he would head up pit lane. Yeah, indeed he is. He's lost the front wing on the car.
This is one of those situations where with 2 laps to go, they'll cross underneath the start-finish line. Do you have a 1-lap dash?
Well,
do they restart with 1 to go?
Yeah.
With these youngsters, do you want to do that?
Well, this is racing.
Yeah.
If we can do it, we can do it. Let them go back to racing. That's what this is all about. If it's a 1-lap dash, it's a 1-lap dash. That's what they've got to learn. They're dragging this car of Cooley out here. Garzone gets to the pit. I don't know that he's going in there. I don't see the team working hard to try to get a wing on that thing. Here comes the car around. So they'll put lap 10 in. They're bringing the hook over for Cooley's machine. So
plenty of time.
There's an opportunity 100% to bring them back around and go for essentially 1 lap. And we've done it before, and we can do it again here right now. Caleb Gafera is the leader. Thomas Schrag second. Lucas Facuri in third. Teddy Musella fourth. Evan Cooley's in fifth spot. Ayrton Hauk in sixth. Seventh is G3 Argyros. Eighth is Christian Cameron. Ninth, Eddie Beswick. And 10th is Timothy Carell. Drivers out of the race already. Jack Jeffers with the incident on the exit of 1. Brendan Cooley and Sebastian Garzone as well. Martella into the pits, but I think came back out. I believe he is active indeed. So Martella back on the racetrack at the tail of the field. So he wants that 1 lap to see if he can get a couple of spots. Martella rolls in here 8th place in points coming off the victory at the Oval, Indianapolis Raceway Park. I'm looking to see where Martella is potentially at the tail of the field. He's in the number 9. He may be on the racetrack. He's not at the tail of the field right now.
Yeah, I think he's actually on a catch-up.
Yeah, potentially. So, listen, we know how good the AMR IndyCar safety team does. We're only into turn number 1 right now. They're going to have this thing cleaned up pretty quickly and have everything ready to go. I would expect that we're going to go back to green flag racing, Eric. I'm having a look at my phone here to see whether or not I get a call from race control to find out whether or not we're going green or not. This should be good to see.
Car is up on the hook and strapped tight, and both the Road America and AMR safety teams heading back to the trucks. That's a good sign usually. Got
an update from Logan Knapp, of course, down on pit lane to make sure all the engines are there, and if he needed help, he's there. Being told a broken front wing for Martella, Anthony Martella, so they got that replaced. He's back on the racetrack again. So,
well, he was in a pretty big elbows up battle there too, so may have had a little bit of contact.
So getting that wing changed, and look, folks, that is going to be a clean racetrack. We are going to come around to white. The AMR safety team on the throttle are going to get themselves back where they need to be and out of the way. And we're going to give you a green and white. This is going to be 1 lap here, guys, that we are going to go racing. Gafera, Schrag, Facuri, Musella, and Cooley. Of that group, only 1 driver has won, and that is Thomas Schrag. Rookie Caleb Gafera looking for his first one. Facuri, Musella, Cooley, all looking for their first USF Pro Championships victory. Will it come here at Road America? You think about a guy like Thomas Schrag. What's his thought right now for Schrag? Because his primary title combatant in 22nd right now, a big points hit for Jack Jeffers. Do you risk it? A contact on the last lap puts you to the tail of the field. He's in a spot where he may be a little more cautious than those around him.
Well, remember on the last restart, he in effect took the lead, started restarting in that second spot. He got a run on the restart on the exit of 14. Can he do it again? Because he lost it into turn 1 the next time. Well, they don't have to worry about going into turn 1 the next time because it's going to be after the checkered flag.
True, and this is it. The punch-off is at the apex of turn 14. Aaron Likens can see down there. As soon as he sees those drivers coming out of turn number 13, sees them in 14, that green's flying. So you've got to get on the throttle at the apex, kind of maybe see what you can do. You have to maintain pace car speed. You can't crawl them down. You have to maintain the speed, and our crew looks at that. Race Control looks at that afterwards, gets on the video, and is able to see that speed through the telemetry. So you have to hold pace car speed. Martella in the Jay Howard driver development machine has worked his way back to the tail of the field. Look for him to try to attack in 1-5-8 to try to get a couple of spots here late. But indeed, this is going to be a one-lapper. Wherever you are around the racetrack, grab a cold one, refill, get to the fence, because this final lap is going to be a wild one. 4 drivers in the top 5 have yet to taste victory here in USF competition. The driver in second, P1 in points, with his primary title challenger at the tail of the field after a wreck in turn number 1. This could be big for Thomas Schrag, but could also be disastrous if he gets involved in an incident. But you know what these racers say. I'm here to win races. It'll be red mist. It'll be full on. I need to win. Win it or bin it. We'll see what happens. Again, punching off at a turn number 14. They'll climb the hill. The pace car on the throttle. That Honda Civic Type R, our official pace car of the USF Pro Championships, gunning its way over to pit lane. Field lining things up, coming out of 13 over to 14. Here we go. Gaffera has led many a kart race before. We're going back to green flag racing. They'll climb up the hill. Likens is in the air. Green, green, green. And away they go. Gaffera's going to lead him up the straightaway here. He'll go down to the inside of the racetrack. Very likely you'll see him there. He's to the bottom. Schrag's going to go to the outside. Huge run for Lucas Fakuri further back as well. Field gap pretty big coming down. To the bottom of the racetrack is Gaffera. Look for Schrag to try to come around the outside. He's not there. Contact! I believe contact with a couple drivers. That is Gaffera off. Gaffera, potential contact. He's going to tap the wall on the outside, but Gaffera contact into turn number 1. That may have been Fakuri into the left rear, the right rear rather, of Gaffera. I think Schrag is going to come out with the lead here. We'll see as they come down. Try to pick up the number as they roll down into turn number 5. Thomas Schrag, the driver, tried to stay out of the issue, able to get a run, and look at the lead he has right now. Scored his first victory on the road course in Indianapolis. Will Thomas Schrag come away with his second win of the season and stretch that point lead? I'm telling you, it'll be a 30-plus point lead if he's able to get through here. Caleb Gaffera back on the racetrack. You can see coming down through turn number 5. Luckily for him, no likely damage to the race car, but contact coming on the turn into turn number 1. Eric, there's the lead for Thomas Schrag.
He was in the perfect position, got the jump out of 14, took the tow, got to the outside, took the lead before they got to turn 1, and Fakuri and Gaffar just made a little bit of contact. It was enough to send Gaffar off at a turn 1. But a great move by Schrag to get the tow up the front stretch.
Look at the second place driver, though, digging hard, trying to get himself out front as well. There's the gap. They work their way through the kink, back part of the racetrack. Final lap here. A wild finish, of course, with turn number 1 action. More drivers kicking up dust down to the kettle bottoms as they're all fighting for position. Thomas Schrag, we believe, the leader up front. Hard to pick up the numbers as they come through Canada Corner here. But indeed, what a wild finish there. The fight's going to come further back for the final positions on the podium, then inside the top 5 as well. Another driver's gone off on the outside of 13. He'll come across the track. Watch the re-entry. Oh, and he stacks everybody up. That's going to be tough. That may be a look at the race control. Another driver's off to the gravel in the final lap. What a wild one, folks. The run to the line. Twin checkers coming across the line, and Thomas Schrag will win his second victory of the season. Teddy Musella makes it a VRD Racing 1-2. Somehow G3 Argyros comes into third spot. Christian Cameron in fourth. Fifth, Lucas Fakuri. 6th, Ayrton Hauk. 7th, Evan Cooley. Timmy Carell, Eddie Beswick, and Vian Bossoff from deep in the field back up to the top 10.
That might be Rodrigo Gonzalez at 14.
Yeah.
That was the unfortunate situation of the field getting stacked up, I think.
Yeah, there he is there, the driver off the racetrack. That is Rodrigo Gonzalez. Harley Keeble who's in the fight at the very tail of the field. Gaffera able to get one. Let's have a look at this one more time. Let's have a look at the turn 1 incident first. And then I'll head to victory lane and let Eric wrap things up here. Here's the turn 1 incident. Watch the inside here. Gaffera tried to pinch down a little bit there, and Fakuri was there. Here's the big lock up here for Keeble. He has broken the rear wing, so that's the issue for Keeble. Wing damage puts him off in turn number 1 as well, hence why he went to the tail of the field. But it looked to me like Fakuri had the inside, and Gaffera potentially coming across from left to right.
And we talked about that with watching the turn 8 contact that likely potentially damaged the front wing for Martella through 8. But you look at that situation. It's again, you've got the car that's fully alongside, nose to nose, and you're committed to your traditional racing line, and you're kind of making that stopgap pinch, and Gaffar not realizing that Vicuri was really there.
Eric, I'm going to head to victory lane. Let's give them a full field rundown.
Absolutely. Your winner in race number 1 will, of course, race again later this afternoon, but Thomas Schrag picking up the win here for VRD Racing. Teddy Musella also for VRD Racing. Top 2 steps on the podium. Got to be happy for that race team. And G3 Argyros puts Pabst Racing 3rd step on the podium. That's 2 podiums today so far in the 4 races for the Elite Engines Grand Prix of Road America. Christian Cameron, we're going to come home in 4th in the 19 machine for VRD Racing as well. Just missing out on a podium sweep for VRD. Lucas Vicuri will come home in the 5th spot in the 91 machine. Ayrton Hout will finish in 6th. The 90 of Evan Cooley, the 8th of Timothy Carell, the 30 of Eddie Beswick, and Wian Boshoff will complete the top 10 for Sarah Fisher Hartman Development. In the second 10, Patricio Gonzalez in the 15 will finish 11th, finishing 12th. The 11 of Jeshua Alenil. Anthony Martella recovers to a 13th position. I know that starting in the 7th spot, not what they wanted for Jay Howard Driver Development, but Martella able to rebound after the damage from the subsequent yellow. 99 of Ryan Gianetta will finish in the 14th position. Kaylee Countryman will finish in 15th, and Thomas Norquist in the 17 will finish in the 16th position for D-Force Racing. Caleb Gaffar, after the contact in turn 1, goes from the 2nd position all the way back to 17th after starting 6th. Harley Keeble will finish in the 18th position. The 18 of Rodrigo Gonzalez, after the contact on the final lap into turn 14, will finish 19th. Sebastian Garzon, after contact as well for D-Force Racing. Tough day for them. They will finish 12th in the 20th position. Brendan Cooley in the 94 will finish 21st. Jack Jeffers, your points leader coming into this round, or race 1 of the weekend, will finish in 22nd. And, of course, JT Hoskins did not start after the crash from yesterday. Your drivers in victory lane here at Road America, part of the USF Pro Championships, the USF2000 winner, Thomas Schrag, and now your new point leader. And a big margin now after Jack Jeffers suffered the contact early on here in the race on lap 4. But a huge win for VRD Racing. Top 2 steps on the podium. 3 in the top 4 for VRD Racing here at Road America in the USF2000, presented by Continental, the USF Pro Championships here at Road America. We're standing by, going to wait for Rob Houghton, of course, in our victory lane. But you take a look at this entire race. We knew that this younger crop of drivers with a little bit less experience here at Road America, you'd never known that Thomas Schrag had never competed here at Road America. Ran a really smart race, started 5th here, and obviously looking for a fast lap in this one. His best lap, a 2:10.203 for Thomas Schrag. So that's hopefully, in their eyes, maybe going to reset potentially a little bit better starting position for race 2 later this afternoon. He was slated to schedule provisionally, I believe, back in the 15th position for Thomas Schrag. So a win this morning into turning into a points lead, and now into getting ready for round 2. And again, that race coming up this afternoon at 5:20 this afternoon, the second and final round for the USF2000 championship here at Road America. Of course, USF Pro 2000, 3 races this weekend. The third and final race for USF Pro tomorrow morning at 7:55 here at America's National Park of Speed. Ready for our podium celebrations, it's Rob Houghton.
Eric, thank you so much indeed. Down here in Victory Lane at Road America, what was a wild opening race for the drivers in USF2000. A number of incidents on track, a one-lap dash to see who was going to come away with the victory, and indeed was the driver who is the point leader right now. Big one for him. Let's start, though, with the driver coming home P3 today. What a final lap from Pabst Racing. Third goes to G3 Argyros. Becca Potke will bring in our trophy again. Again, their good folks in the staff of Elite Engines helping us out with the award presentations. Finishing in second today, all part of a VRD Racing 1-2, Teddy Musella coming home P2, your runner-up in race number 1. Michael Knapp's got the P2 trophy for Teddy. What a season it's been. The consistency for Teddy Masella this year after an issue in the opening round, nothing but top 10 finishes. So impressive for Teddy here, looking for that first victory. This driver here was looking for his first victory coming into the season. He won on the road course at Indianapolis. He is now a race winner here at Road America as well. Such a huge victory for him. The point leader and the race winner, Thomas Schrag. Thomas, we talked yesterday about how crucial this race was going to be, knowing tomorrow you're likely going to be starting a little deeper. You probably laid a good lap time down, but just tell me about that race. It was a wild one from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we truly had a car to win, but the dirty air was pretty bad, and I got a terrible start. I mean, that's all on me, but, you know, I just stayed cool. I know I had a lot of laps left, so just picked them off one by one, and then, you know, Jack was in that huge accident, so sorry to see that, but... you know, I was second, put myself in a good spot on the last restart, and once I cleared him, I moved down, defended third, and had an easy win from there.
Yeah, once you got in the lead, you essentially pulled away. Who do you want to thank right now?
Doug Mockett, first off. I mean, he's the reason why I can race. My dad and Airport Electric Service, the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Cincinnati, Verdi Racing, everyone on the team, Dan, Jacob. Teddy did a good job today, 1-2 again since Indy, and that's about it. Just Continental Tires, Elite Engines, USF Pro Championships.
Ready for the race 2 this afternoon?
Yeah, I don't know where we start. Before the race, we're starting 15th, so it's going to be a good pull through the field.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Thomas Schrag, folks, what a great drive today. Bring that trophy in there, Logan Knapp. P1 for Thomas Schrag. Again, point leader coming in. His primary challenger, Jack Jeffers, with the incident over in turn number 1. Big opportunity for him to stretch away in points. But based on his second fastest lap yesterday, indeed, currently starting P15. But if he was able to go quicker in the race, he can use that lap as opposed to the lap he had in the qualifying session yesterday. So it will all remains to be seen how things are going to line up for the race this afternoon. There's a lot of variables that could factor in before we find out how things look for race number 2. But nonetheless, his second win of the season stretches his point lead out nicely. He'll likely have a point lead of over 30 points coming into race number 2. So a big result for Thomas Schrag, but a fantastic run as well for Teddy Masella. Was right up front throughout the entire race. G3 Argyros, though, had to dig to get himself up to the podium. Started in 7th and fought his way back forward. A great job for G3 Argyros on the podium for Pabst Racing. Remember, folks, these drivers here midway through the second level of the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. They're going to do it all again this afternoon. Autograph session this afternoon as well, as we know, folks. 12:45 for USF Pro 2000. So come and join us for the autograph sessions that we'll have this afternoon in the fan walk here. Finishing up the award presentations as Thomas Schrag for VRD Racing, scoring his second win of the season in what was a caution-filled race. A number of incidents on the racetrack, a wacky final lap as well. We're back at it this afternoon, as we know. Back-to-back races for USF Pro 2000, USF 2000. Guys, grab that champagne, grip it and rip it. Let's celebrate race number 1 for USF 2000. They're moving the race car first. Come on, Schrag, get at it. Thomas Schrag with the race win. You got to wear those suits again. What are you doing? I love it. So Thomas Schrag gets the victory, folks. A fantastic run for him. Again, 2 more races still to come on the day. And then, of course, we'll wrap things up tomorrow morning with USF Pro 2000. Those of you watching at home, thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast here on YouTube or on the USF Pro Championships app. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.